Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Julie here as usual. This is a pretty big speed build. It's a tiny houses, but it's multiples, so it turned into a pretty big and long build. I've been working on this one probably on and off, give or take about a month, I think. In the meantime, I've done smaller builds and got those ones up, and this one was just something I kept kind of putting on the back burner and then going back to whenever, I had the time or the chance. So it is a longer video, so I'm like, it's just gonna be a lot of talking, and I'm sick, so I'm hoping my voice will survive the length of this video. I think it's about 23 minutes, I believe, before the screenshots, which I haven't done any of that yet. I haven't made my families for this yet. So, this build here, I got the idea for this from, I think it was just like a meme that I saw. But like one of those factual memes, not like a funny one. And it said, it was like a picture of a couple of little tiny houses, not a super great picture. Couldn't really make out what they really looked like. And it said something about four couples who were best friends, all basically built tiny homes for themselves in their own neighborhood, and built like a one kind of main building where they would get together for meals, and that was pretty much all it said. So from that, to me, I was like, okay, four groups or four couples or whatever of best friends, they buy this big piece of property, they each build their own homes and decorate it at will however they want, and then have their community building where when they want to get together, they go, they cook meals together, they have movie nights together. And I thought that was such a cute idea. I don't have personally a group of friends that I think I could or would do that with. But I love the idea. I think it's really cute. And in the little meme that I saw, and I didn't look it up, so maybe it's not even real, I don't know, but I didn't look it up, so I don't know the ins and outs of it. But in my little houses that I made, I gave everyone obviously their own bathroom and their own kitchen, because I'm like, you may be best friends, but sometimes you're not going to want to see each other. Like, there could be a night where it's like, oh, like Susan really made me mad at dinner yesterday with that comment about the neighbor's dog. God knows what. I don't want to have dinner with her tonight. So, so all their tiny homes are completely functional. Actually, I don't know if they're fully functional yet. I haven't done playtesting yet. So if anything looks different once this is on the gallery, it'll be because of the playtesting and I had to move some stuff. I don't anticipate anything being an issue, to be honest, because the tiny houses are not like ridiculously small, so everything should be functional. But anyways, so this is basically the kind of the foundation of the build. So all my shells are up, and I went with I think the doors and windows, I believe, are cats and dogs from that expansion pack. Was that an expansion pack or was that a game pack? I don't remember. So I decided to make all the houses identical just to make it easier, I guess, for me, because like I say in every video that I do, I'm a slow builder. So if I was doing one build that had 5 buildings on it and they all had to be completely different, I wouldn't make it out alive. Okay? This wouldn't have gone up until I was 80 years old. So yeah, so like I said, all my buildings are basically identical. The insides, like the kitchens are identical. The living rooms are kind of put together the same way. The only thing that's different is all like the color, and I want to say all the clutter items are different, but this is 5 buildings on one lot, so I'm sure without realizing it, I'm almost 100% sure I have doubled on some of the clutter items. So some things will have the same clutter items in some houses. So with the blue house, what I did is I pretty much left the whole build of the blue house in, like the decorating wise of it. so that I wouldn't have to do it for all of them. Because after I put all of my footage into my editing software and I sped it all up, like before doing any editing, I sped it all up and I believe it was still like 2 hours long. So after editing it down, I got it to, oh my gosh, I got it to, I put the speed on, I still had under 2 hours. There was like maybe a little more than an hour and a half. So I edited it and it was still like a 40-minute video. And I'm like, I can't, that's too long. And I didn't really, I kind of wanted to turn it into two videos, but I wasn't sure how to do that because I had already put all my stuff in. But anyways, that's besides the point. So then I edited it some more and I managed to get it down to 23 minutes. And the way I did that was basically, like I said, I left all the stuff in for the blue house, and then the other 3 houses, I just kind of picked and chose little pieces of them to leave in. And the main building, it's just a kitchen, a dining room, a living room, and like a bathroom with like laundry. So I cut out some of that footage as well because I'm like, how many kitchens do you need to see built in one video? So I do have kind of like in my mind as I'm building these, I was coming up with somewhat scenarios, I guess. Would it be a scenario or like backstory? I guess more backstories for my people. So with the blue house here, I thought the way the blue house was decorated was a very just kind of classic blue and white. And I don't know why in my mind I pictured like a couple that have been together for like a bazillion years, soap opera stars. Like they've been on the same soap opera since they were teenagers. They fell in love there. They played a married couple on the show, and they're a married couple in real life. In my mind, these couples, like let me backtrack a little bit. So these couples, because I think having a group of best friends that's like 4 couples, like we're talking like 8 people potentially, that's pretty rare, I think, So I'm like, they have to have some sort of common denominator for how they would have even all met and gotten together. And I didn't want to go all the way back to like childhood and they're all childhood friends and then they all marry each other because I'm like, that would never really happen. So I figure I'm like, they're all somewhere, somehow like in the arts. So everyone does something in the arts. There's a writer, there's a painter, there's a photographer. So I'm like, okay, so maybe in like their young adult life, so I'm thinking like in their early 20s or something, they were all starting to gain a bit of recognition for what they do in life. And they all met at some sort of charity event, and for whatever reason, they all just really clicked, got along, and have been, inseparable basically ever since. So like now they're all older, and they're mostly all retired, and this is what they decided to do. They're like, let's just get rid of our big homes and this, that, and the other, and all of our families are all grown and gone, and let's all get our own little community going. It's like starting to think this is sounding like a cult, but it's not. They just wanted to all like live in close proximity to each other so that they could hang out and spend all their time together. And they just, they have their own little house, like I've explained already, and then they just like getting together for movie nights. And they love cooking together. There's a gardener, there's this. So like it all just kind of meshes together. So yeah, what was I? The blue house, soap opera stars, they've been together forever. And this whole neighborhood thing, I want to say, was like their idea. Like they were out one night for dinner and drinks or something, and they're like, what would be a great idea? And then everyone was like, yeah, let's do it. So that is the couple for the blue house. I haven't made any of them yet. I usually always make my families before I take the screenshots, so that they're kind of roaming around, I guess, while I'm doing the screenshots. And I just like that idea of some of the pictures having like people, well, not people, these are not people, these are Sims, in the pictures. So, I think the blue house is like my favorite, and I feel like it might be the better-ish one just because it was the first one, so this build was still like new and fun and exciting to do. And then by the time you get to your second and your third and your fourth and your fifth building, you're just like, can I be done already? but I tried not to let that happen, and I tried to like push through and make sure that they were all like nice and cluttered, and they didn't just get like emptier and emptier as I went, because I had, was losing the will to live. So the pink house, because it's so pink, I'm like, okay, I think that the couple living here, I'm like, it's gonna be a married couple, a man and a woman. The woman is like a fashionista, like she's always been in the fashion scene, not a designer or anything, just like started out not being a blogger because blogging didn't exist when she would have been younger, but started out writing for, fashion magazines and traveling the world and, discovering new trends and bringing them back to wherever. I don't know, I guess I could say this was built in Canada, bringing them back to Canada for, we're always a little behind on certain fashions, but whatever. And her husband was a basketball player, I guess, basketball star, very famous, and now he's a coach. So because he's still not really home very much, because he travels a lot, because he coaches a I guess you could say NBA or something, basketball team. So there's a lot of traveling. So because he's not home a lot, he's like, decorate our house however you want. I'll just be happy to be home with you when I'm home. So I didn't really show much of the pink house build, but I'm like, again, you only need to see so many things. So the bathroom obviously is like all pink with the tile and stuff, and the kitchen is pink. And with the bedroom, I just went with black and pink, as well as with the living room and stuff. And I thought maybe she also likes to, maybe garden, maybe, I don't know. There's like that flower arranging table that I put on there just because there was a pink one, and I was like, oh, like it matches, I'm just gonna pop it there. So maybe she likes to do bouquets or something on the side. Maybe she grows her own flowers and does that. And like I said, her husband's just not home very much. And with the, my knuckles just cracked. Ooh, I hate that. So with the red house, I don't know, I figured, I think this is the first house that I put a computer in. I think the pink house I go back later, maybe you'll see it in the screenshots, but I think I do put a computer at the little dining room table in the pink house, because I'm like, if she's a blogger now, like, hello, she needs something to blog on. So the red house, I think it's a married couple. So one of them, she's a writer, like romance novels, because I don't know, I think of red, I think of romance. So I'm like, she's a romance novel writer, and her wife does wood sculpting. I put the woodworking table outside because I tried to make all their little porches look a little bit different. So I put the woodworking table outside. And it was so funny when I was going through the debug menu, and when you're in the debug menu, you can find some of the sculptures that your Sims will make when they work at the woodworking table. And some of them, when I take them, like one of them was a ballerina, and I was like, oh, that'd be really cute. Like I'm going to put it beside the door. And then when you actually place it, it just turned to this big, weird, spiky ball. I think I put stuff on the porch after I finished the greenhouse, so it kind of popped back to it, I think. But it was super weird. And another one, I forget what the sculpture was supposed to be. Like when I pulled it out of the menu, the sculpture was one thing, and then when I placed it, it turned into a boat or something. I don't know. It was really weird. But I left them because I'm like, I don't care what they are. She's just going to be into woodworking. And the other is a romance novel writer. So the greenhouse, I actually really like the greenhouse a lot. I think it's, I think it's a color I don't use very much. I know in a build I did, like one of my first few builds, I did like a really green bedroom in like my modern, my modern house that I did that had the bedroom and the roof. And I really liked it. And I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I've used a lot of greens since then. I still tend to gravitate towards blues and whites and stuff. But for the greenhouse, I assume they're nature lovers. So I want to say he does photography, but it's nature photography. Like we've all seen those framed pictures that are like really cool of like just maybe close up on a leaf with a dewdrop falling off of it, or just this really exotic flower or something like that. So that's what I think here. So he's a photographer and sells his, photography all over the world. It's in museums and stuff, and met his husband because he does the same thing, but he paints. So I guess that's how they met, maybe at some sort of nature picture painting conference. I don't know. I haven't gone that far back in the backstory. But when it comes to their home, you'll notice that it's not full of like artwork, whether photography, like photographs or painted pieces, because they prefer having the real thing in their home and not what they see through their lens or through the canvas. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense. So that's why there might not be any actual, I may have not put any pictures except for that one little decal. But yeah, so there's absolutely nothing in the house that's any of their personal like artwork. It's all just real and natural plants and flowers because, like I said, their whole careers are based around pictures of this stuff. They want to see the real thing. So yeah, this is where you can see like this one, the ballerina, and then boom, spike ball. It was so weird, but I left it anyways because I'm like, hey, if someone could actually sculpt a spike ball like that, that would be really cool. And then I just put another couple of pieces of woodworking things. I don't know if these are actually, I don't think these are from the debug menu. I don't think they were. And then I move into the main building where they share. So this is where there's a nice big kitchen. I used the new counters from Island Living because I had just gotten Island Living, I think right around the time where I started working on the main building. And I love the fact that that one has, on the island pieces, it has the waterfall edge. So I put that in here, and I think I don't know, I think I cut out a good amount of footage from this portion of the build as well, because even when I was editing, I'm like, I can't look at another kitchen. I'm so done. But I had fun building this, I think because I did it so slowly, so I wasn't trying to force it. Like every time I would go in and I'd build, I'd maybe finish one house, and then I wouldn't look at it for like another week or something, and then I'd go back and do another house. And so it was kind of like, for me, it felt like multiple different builds. But then when I was editing, I'm just like, oh my God, I'm so tired. Like, I'm just looking at the same stuff over and over and over again. So in the main building here, I wanted to make sure there was a bathroom. And then I also realized, I'm like, oh, they need laundry too. Like there's 8 people living here. They need to be able to do laundry. And I didn't want to put the stuff outside, like the whatever it's called, the laundry bucket and the clothesline. I didn't want to put that outside. So in the main building, I just did kind of like a half bath / laundry. And I don't know if maybe they all share the chores. They have some sort of chore wheel, like, oh, like Susan and Doug, you guys are doing, laundry this week. And I have no idea. That can be up to you and what you guys want to do. But yeah, this house will obviously be on the gallery. I just finished it. I think I just finished it earlier this week, and I've just been really taking my time editing because I don't have that much time to do editing. So I just finished editing it last night, and now this morning I edited some more to try and make it shorter, and that's how I got it down to the 23 minutes. And now I'm doing my narration, and then I gotta get ready, and I gotta go work. Did I say narration? No, I gotta do my voiceover. Whatever. So like I said, I cut out a lot of the footage, so you'll see me kind of jumping back and forth and back to the kitchen, and there's more stuff on the counters than there was before. But all that stuff will be in the screenshots as well. And then here I'm just doing a little bit of a coffee bar area, which I think I did the same thing in one of the tiny houses on the corner of, maybe it was the greenhouse. I have the exact same items there, the little stand with all the tea things in it and the mugs, the exact same items. And then this is the room where they collectively sit and chill and watch movies, and they have all kinds of like these movie posters all over the walls, whether maybe the soap opera stars have been in movies as well, or maybe someone else who, has a little bit of clout in in as a famous person, maybe did a cameo somewhere in a movie, or maybe it's just their favorite movies and they curated the original posters or something for them. I don't know. I just wanted this to be a movie room. I wanted it to be a little dark, and I wanted it to look cozy, which I think it does. I put 3 individual little whatchamacallums, coffee tables instead of like one big one, because I'm like, that way with that many people, you can pull it closer to you to put your drinks or whatever on it instead of everyone sharing one big huge one. And yeah, oh my gosh, I can't believe like I'm almost at the end. This video is almost over in a few minutes. So here I'm just putting a little bit more landscaping in, as well as some garbage bins, obviously with that many people. And at the front, where the front gate is, there's there's like 4 mailboxes. So I don't know how that would work with gameplay if there's 4 mailboxes, but I'm assuming the bills for this are going to be like crazy high because there's a lot of stuff going on. But yeah, I think this turned out really well. This is the back porch off the main house so that they can go and have a barbecue outside and chill. I didn't really do much out there. It wasn't a very big space for me to work with. When I went in to build this whole thing, I had a kind of a picture in my mind, but not really on like how to space it out and stuff. And for me, once I have something built, I really don't like having to like destroy stuff and rebuild it and move things. So I try and just work with what I've done. And then those little archway things with the flowers inside, I've never done that before. I'm sure it's been done, but I've never done that before. And I thought it looked super adorable. And yeah, just a few big trees outside. I didn't really talk about the whole fountain thing in the middle, but I do love it. I haven't actually gone into this in a playable mode yet, so I don't know how the fountain will work. I assume it'll work fine. I just thought it was a really cute place because as soon as you walk in the front gates, that's what you see is this big fountain and the big building. And then when you look off to the side, that's when you see the smaller buildings. So I thought that would make it look really nice and inviting and just a nice, structural, I guess, or aesthetically pleasing thing to see when you first walk in. And I debated also putting in some sort of like guest house so that if anyone's families come to visit, but dude, there was no room and I was not moving any buildings. So here you can see I've got a little bit of a gardening area because I figured, I think it was the people who were living in the pink house. I thought maybe she's like a fashionista, columnist and blogging and all that, but maybe also likes to, I think, do the flowers and stuff on the side and maybe some gardening so they can use a lot of fresh produce when they're cooking. And yeah, so we're coming up to the end of the video in, I think, just about less than a minute. This one took me a really long time, a really, really long time. So if you like it, just leave a comment, let me know. If you have any ideas for other things that you'd like to see built, also let me know. And yeah, I always, whatever comments get left, I always do check them and I always do respond and I do really appreciate them. So I'm not working on another build at the moment. I'm probably going to start one tonight. I have a couple of ideas in mind, but like and share and hit the notification bell. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and this will be on the gallery later. Bye.